Some people deal with mysteries in life by exploring them in words. This can be a creative way of attempting to understand meaningful things about the world. This video will focus primarily on Christian writers that explore the idea of the mystery of God in words, although there are many examples from other religions that could also be studied. Christian mystic Hildegard of Bingen, who was also a musician, wrote songs and poems that explored her understanding of God. Hildegard lived in Germany in the 12th century and had a varied life in which she spent some time in a monastery. She had visions of God, and she had a creative mind. You can look up her music if you're interested in hearing what sacred music sounded like 800 years ago. Hildegard was interested in knowledge in all areas of life, and wrote about many topics, from God to music, to science and medicine. In 2012, Pope Benedict XVI named Hildegard a Doctor of the Church, only the 4th woman to be named as such. This recognized her importance to theology, and her contributions to understanding God. Read her poem on your screen. What do you think Hildegard is trying to say about God in this poem? Meister Eckhart, a German theologian and mystic who lived from 1260 to around 1328, wrote about his ideas on God. His writing expresses the mystery of God succinctly. The quote on your screen, "Nothing in all creation is so like God as stillness," expresses the inadequacy of words to describe God. Eckhart also famously said, "The eye with which I see God is the same eye with which God sees me." What do you think he means by this? Nineteenth-century Russian novelist and philosopher Fyodor Dostoevsky was interested in exploring religious ideas through secular literature. The Brothers Karamazov, one of his most famous books, was his final novel. It discusses ideas of God and morality. It has the famous quote by Ivan, one of the brothers, "It's not God that I don't accept, Eloisha, only I most respectfully return him the ticket." Ivan believes that the world is full of suffering, so he wants nothing to do with a God who has created that world. However, other characters view the world in a more positive light. In the quote on your screen, you can see love of creation as an important part of understanding God. Have you seen the Narnia films or read the books? If not, you're missing out. The writer C.S. Lewis, born in 1898 in Belfast, Northern Ireland, wrote a lot about Christianity. He wrote some clever books discussing key religious ideas. Although C.S. Lewis said the Narnia Chronicles were not allegorical, they have been interpreted as an analogy for a liberal Christian understanding of God. The lion, Aslan, represents God, saving people when they go wrong, which is reflected in the quote on your screen. In The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, Aslan sacrifices himself to save Peter, and is beaten, humiliated, and bound. Does this sound familiar? It's very similar to the story of Jesus' death. Aslan is sad because he was unaware of his resurrection. He is patient and committed to the path he has chosen. How far does Aslan reflect the Christian understanding of Jesus? Christian writers, such as Australian theologian Dennis Edwards, have argued that mysticism is necessary for an authentic spiritual engagement with the world. Mysticism is knowing God through experience. In other words, mysticism means finding God in the natural world. As Edwards says in the quote on your screen, an experience of mysticism can happen in both the beauty and the strangeness of the world. Can this experience also be found in writings, whether explicitly Christian or not?